about with my hair. I'm just gonna have to start the vlog. Welcome to this week's vlog. It's Tuesday, so haven't been sort of as proactive jumping on kind of Monday starting filming or anything. But yesterday was a really good day actually. So I had 4 clients in the afternoon who came for 3 pedicures, 1 manicure, and I had such a lovely afternoon with them all. Really lovely ladies that are all located over near Montpazier, so not too far away from here. So this week I have a few things I need to do. Still need to book the car in for that service. Today I've got to go shopping and run some errands. Tomorrow we've got somewhere to be in the evening, and then Thursday of course is that all important Chambre de Métiers appointment, so we can't be without the car. I don't think there's anything else to report. I'm going to have a cup of tea and then I'm going to carry on meal planning for the week. I tend to plan all of my meals just so that because here obviously you can't just nip out to the Tesco Express and get anything. You need to buy it when you're out shopping. So I always try to make a list of breakfast, lunch and dinners that I plan to have, which is very extreme, but it's definitely the way to do it. I will say our local épicerie is really nice, so if we're ever short of anything, go in there is not a problem, but it's expensive. And I'm going to go to Female today. I can't cope with Ocean again. It was so cold there last week. It actually hurt. My poor nose. It's only just come back to life. So the fire has gone out. I know that Leon will have put a log on it when he left, but I don't think the embers that were left over from last night are doing much. You can see one. I've just flipped the log over to see if it'll spark, but the handle's like cold. So no worries, because I've got air conditioning. This is what we want in our bedrooms. So obviously this is the temperature it's set to. So power it on, and it always starts up with the tree, and that means it's in eco mode. So I switch that blooming thing off. There we go. So then it uses the remote as the thermostat, and it'll adjust the temperature accordingly. And you can see it's got the display on there with the temperature. So that's how it works, and it works very well. It ticks on and ticks off depending on how warm it is in here. So once it's the temperature, it'll switch off. And then when the temperature drops, it comes back on for a bit and then turns off. So it's very economical. It's a very big system, but it's efficient. Also, we have fallen far. Leon bought these in Nos because we've run out of tea, Yorkshire tea, I hasten to add. And I'm now stuck with these hideous tea bags. I can't even tell you how crud they are. They're rubbish. I never thought I was a tea connoisseur, or a tea sommelier, if you will, but it turns out I am actually quite fussy. And I don't like these, I like Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire Gold, to be precise. So I just got back from shopping and it ended up being a longer trip than I anticipated, because a friend of mine lives about 10 minutes from where I go shopping, and so I decided to pop in and see her and her husband. So it was really lovely, but it means I just got back and it's now 5:30, so I need to crack on with dinner. But I got home, checked the post box, and I have a bill from Primagaz. I don't actually know what this bill is for, but it's really frustrating because I don't want to give them any money because we're not using any gas this year. That's why we've installed the aircon and why we're sticking to using the fire. So they want me to pay €144. Abonnement annuel. Service du 30, sorry, I can say that in English. Services from the 30th of October 24 to the 29th of October 25. And that comes to €120 hors tax. I went shopping though, and it was a successful shopping trip. I got lots and lots of bits and pieces for making a few nice things this week. Tonight I'm doing pumpkin stew. It's feeling cold and miserable outside, so I've re-stoked the fire. Both cats are outside having a little run around. So yeah, my fridge is looking a lot fuller than it was. Very difficult being dry January and having to look at this every time I open the door. Right, I'm all unpacked. Price-wise, I find that our shopping comes to about €100 a week. This week I spent a bit more like stocking up on the, got my cereal down there as well. It was a bit more expensive, sort of stocking up on a few bits. So I would say on an average week, it's about €120. I know it's a source of endless debate on forums and I've mentioned it 100 times on our vlogs, but I do think that those little things that people want to know about France are actually the important things. I mean, yeah, sure, you want to know about cultural differences and, you know, the legal side of, you know, being able to move here. But when all is said and done, you want to know how much fuel costs, how much it's going to cost to heat your house, and how much you're going to have to spend every week on groceries. So I think that's helpful. Hopefully you find it helpful. I got back from Gran Canaria. Cleo has been very cuddly, which is very unlike her. Isn't she?
She was so uncuddly that we bought another cat.
And now the cuddly cat is there, ignoring us. And the cold-hearted one is there, loving us. Ooh.
It's all right, it's pretty good. Yeah.
As long as one of them's cuddling us, it doesn't matter which one. One of the things I missed more than anything from living here was the sunsets. And we're rarely disappointed. Only ever if it's cloudy is it not a great sunset. But honestly, it's not doing it justice, not even close, this phone. It's absolutely gorgeous. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday and we have our appointment at the Chambre de Métiers in roughly 2 hours. I just thought I'd run a few curls through my hair, but unfortunately the weather is never going to let me get away with keeping them. I've got all of the documents that we were required to have, so we shouldn't have any issues. Feeling pretty confident that it should be quite a straightforward process. Because we are in France, of course, I've taken not just what they've asked for, but 101 documents in addition to the list. They ask for copies of your passport and like copies of things. I take the originals as well, because you just never know. And when it comes to like our birth certificates, I make sure that I've got the French translated one and the original English one. It's just a safeguard because I only want to do this once. Agen is an hour away, so it's not the sort of place you can like pop in. We're making it worth our while because we're going with Mark and Cath, and they've got an appointment at a kitchen showroom because it's time to start picking out their kitchen, which is exciting. And also the sales began yesterday here in France. They're doing that while we're in our meeting, but we're hoping to grab some lunch while we're there. Because again, it's like, why not make a day of it? Unfortunately, the weather is shocking today, really, really bad. In other news, the aircon units are not working still. It appears that there may be an issue because the indoor units we have in the bedrooms are this year's model, or I should say 2024, but the outdoor main unit that powers everything is 2023. So although they're the same serial numbers, it's the same model, there's a year difference. And I explained that from the start, that maybe it's a configuration issue, but it might be that they're not compatible. But Leon made the point, it doesn't really make sense to have a system where if one indoor unit broke, you'd have to redo the entire system. That's just nonsensical. I know that there's been a lot of anxiety from our lovely friends who've helped us with the installation, but we're not worried. We're not worried at all. We'll find a solution. There's always a solution to something. I mean, for goodness sake, last year we got our visas refused and I was ready to like crawl under a rock and never come out again. But there was a solution to that. It seemed like an insurmountable challenge, and yet here we are. We live in France with a visa. So clearly there's a solution. My mum is coming in a few weeks. I was talking to her this morning because we actually booked our flights, Cath and I, and she was like, oh, is my room going to be warm? So Leon and I have decided if by next week there's no solution that's sort of come through, we're going to put €500 in the gas tank and start up the underfloor heating. And what's fantastic is my dad was very, very savvy with these things, and he was a heating inspector, an engineer and a plumber. So when he did this house, he did it in such a way that means you can isolate every single room with the underfloor. So you can opt to just have one bedroom on, or two bedrooms, or just the kitchen, or just the entryway. So it's very economical. It means you don't have to have huge sections of the house on at once. It's such a shame he's not around to say this stuff to. But yeah, I think about him a lot when it comes to things like that, the things he installed and really put a lot of thought into. I'm just so grateful that he made those choices. Obviously, he didn't realise we would end up living here. But anyway, I digress. So I must put clothes on. Cath and Mark are on the way. I've got all my documents together, so this should be straightforward. We done?
Yes, that was very nice. Nice experience in France.
Yes.
They're very helpful. They like the paperwork, but they help you do it.
That was very successful, wasn't it, babe?
It was very nice. It was a lot less stressful than the TLS appointment, let me tell you that.
So, highly recommend doing it this way if you are applying for a SIRET number. They basically did exactly what I did on the INPI website, just going through, filling out all the different boxes and everything, but you're doing it with someone who does it every single day. So she had a few additional questions, and actually she said if you had a social security number when you lived here before, we should put that in. Do you have it? And I just happen, by pure happenstance, because I'm not very organised and I don't keep track of documents as good as Leon. I think you've
become very organised.
I had my form from when I stopped working in France, and it had my social security number on it. So she's now got that. She reckons I'll be reissued the same number again. Leon's obviously will be fresh and new.
A new number.
So could end up being a bit easier for me to get my number back. So that remains to be seen. She reckons a lead time of about 2 weeks. So
just a minute.
Yeah, but she reconfirmed to us that it's perfectly fine that we've been working since November. She said you just keep track of your earnings and you'll declare it all when URSSAF reach out to you with your sign-on so that you can pay your cotisations online. So we're done.
Yay!
We're going to go meet Mark and Cath. They're kitchen shopping in Leroy Merlin. So we're going to head over there because apparently it's a big DIY store. So Leon's already excited.
I've done lots of work on site, but I've not been to many DIY shops, which I normally love looking around to see what's available. And every time I go into a shop that sells wood products and glue, I feel a bit less homesick, because when I lived in England before, I'd done carpentry work there for like 20 years. I knew where to get everything. It's just great to see what's available.
Yeah, might get to go to Maison du Monde if there's one nearby, because that's my favourite shop. So yeah, on our way. So this is my temple, my Mecca. It's got everything I love in there, and it's the sales. See if we can find some bargains. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day, back in pre-visa, this is how long ago, I found a sofa that I loved in Maison du Monde, and it's still here. Isn't it comfy?
It's pretty good.
It's too expensive, and the cats would eat it. It's that sort of fabric that's really lovely, but you just know, especially this colour. I mean, Remy came in the other day with a worm in his fur, and Cleo's come in with snails in her fur. Siberian cats and their fur, it's just a real bad mix. So I don't think we'll be getting the sofa, but it's nice to dream. So we've seen some plates we like, these, but sadly they're not in the sales.
But they're not crazy expensive. I mean, we've had our set for a long time. Someone in the house breaks a few dishes when he undoes the dishwasher early in the morning. But yeah, I do like them. They're not in sale though, it's sad, but...
They've only got the one box, so I think we'll order them online. So it's now the evening and we just got back. We spent longer in Agen than we anticipated, but we ended up, after Maison du Monde, we went into Boulanger, which is where we got our oven. And I don't think we intended to buy anything. We did have a look at the hobs because I don't know if I've mentioned it on the vlog, but the hob that the old owners left is a ceramic hob. Because if you didn't know, if you have a pacemaker, you can't have an induction hob because it works on magnets and it can affect your pacemaker. And I say this because the previous owner, she had a pacemaker. So they've got a ceramic hob, but ceramic hobs are not nearly as efficient and fast as induction. So it's always been our plan at some stage to get an induction hob. The oven was the priority, but we ended up buying a hob today. And sadly, we had our eye on a coffee machine as well because ours has seen better days. The buttons are broken. Still makes a nice cup of coffee, but it's just not all that reliable. So we saw a DeLonghi Magnifica, or was it Dynamica? Dynamica Plus. It worked out, it wasn't the bargain we anticipated, so we left it behind. But the hob was definitely the priority. And this hob is nice because it's really wide. It's not like a standard 56 centimetres. It's a bit bigger than that. So really excited to get that. I think the lead time's between 1 and 5 days, they said. So really happy with it. So we've come back. It's not 6:30, it's nearly 7. So I'm getting on with dinner. We're having mushroom pasta. We're both quite tired and hungry, so get that done. And yes, SIRET number went very well. Very, very well. Very happy. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. Finally, we made it to Friday. And I've just uploaded the vlog, I Want to Go Back to England. So I started editing last week's vlog yesterday. So I left it super late. And when I was editing it, I thought, oh, I didn't capture much footage last week. It's going to be really boring, sparse. There won't be much to show. Well, was I wrong? I started editing it and I'd filmed pretty much an entire meltdown about the SIRET number refusal. Well, Leon and I were dying laughing because obviously by the time he got home from work, the whole thing had sort of been sorted out. So I told him, oh yeah, it was really upsetting, but you know, I've got it sorted. But I hadn't really told him just how, oh my word, I took a turn for the worst. I was so negative. Oh my goodness. And we were laughing at me going, I want to go home, but home is here and I'm stuck here. So I just thought I would mention it because honestly, I was laughing so hard. I thought, do I leave it in? Because I felt a bit vulnerable sharing just how quickly things can turn. And it's very unnerving when you live here and you've made that commitment and you feel like, oh, I'm not coping with this, I want to get out. It's a bit like that fight or flight thing. Well, I feel like I'm a real mixture of both. I instantly feel like, oh, I just want to get out of this somehow. But then I thought, well, there'll be a solution. And it's family that helped me recenter and just find what that solution is. And there was a solution and it was easily fixed. But I wanted to share it because we chose the name France Unfiltered for this reason, that living in France is not always fun. Living anywhere is not always fun. It's not always easy. And the trouble is, humans are very good at this. When you have moved country, you can look back on your former life and see all the bad when you're having great times here. But then the flip side can also be true. When things are hard here, you start to look back and think, oh, it was so much easier in England. Oh, it would be so much easier if I was there now. But that's not really true. You're just having a hard time. Once you get through it, it'll all be fine again. And that's exactly what happened. So I don't want to worry any of you who are thinking of moving here. I just felt like a little bit of realism peppered in would be good because Leon and I are not negative people at all, but we have our moments, as does everyone. So I thought I'd let you see mine. I did the title, the thumbnail, I Want to Go Back to England, and I thought, oh, it sounds so clickbaity. But I actually utter those words in the vlog, so I thought, well, I said it, so got to own it. Plans have changed a bit. I was going to go out, but the weather's not great. And also, Cath rang and said, today would be a good day to go to Martin Fils. Martin Fils is a French company and they sell all kinds of stuff. They also sell air conditioning units, and not just any air conditioning units, they sell Wiseman air conditioning units. We're not getting anywhere with Wiseman, not Wiseman Belgium or Wiseman Germany. They're not being very helpful at all. They're kind of hot-footing between their opinions. So, you know, on the one hand, they're like, well, you know, the year difference may not be compatible. But then they said prior that, well, if they had the same serial numbers, then yes, despite the year difference, they should work together. So can't seem to get a straight answer. So Cath said, let's go to Martin Fils, take the manuals and just say, does this work with that? This evening, we have a lovely, lovely evening planned because we're heading over to Yasmin and Mika's. So they live in, I'm going to look it up. So they live near Saint-Cirque-la-Popie, and let me tell you, it's been voted the most beautiful village in France a couple of times, and I think it's true to its name. It is stunning. It sits on this cliff over the Lot River. I believe it's the Lot River. Yes, it is. And it's just the most beautiful place you could ever hope to go to. I'll insert a picture because it has to be seen to be believed. I've been there twice, once in summer, once in winter. And in the summer, if you time it right and it's not the school holidays, it's gorgeous. I mean, like, gorgeous. Anyway, they live not far away from there. And they've built their own house. I think we've told you before, we've been over there, spent some time with them, but they're dear friends of ours, so we're going to spend the evening with them. So it's a bit of a trek, so we'll probably be setting off at around 5-ish, I would think. So that's nice. And then the weekend's fairly chilled. I think I might do some more work tomorrow on the course. Leon's still working on the table, and it's time to relax a bit because I think Leon and I were more nervous than we anticipated about this appointment yesterday that we went to in Agen. But now that it's behind us, we both feel so much better. It's hard going through these peaks and troughs of feeling like everything's going smoothly and then, oh, we've got this appointment and how's that going to go and how will that turn out? But just got to roll with it. You have to just let go. So anyway, I just thought I'd share with you that nightmare vlog. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you found it entertaining and informative. Tell me what you've just done then.
I found the kitchen I want.
So where are we?
Cassia in Fumel. Yeah. So I went yesterday to some big shops that do kitchens. But we didn't find anything we wanted and quality were a bit... I love this. The grey. Anthracite.
I even like the handles and everything.
Oh, I do. So I'm going to ring Mark and say, I found it.
And we've also found the right extractor for Cath. And this is so cheap. Look at the sales on that. And that. Cath actually bought that oven yesterday and look, there's a matching microwave.
Oh, that's the... Hey, oh, we found a kitchen. It's gorgeous.
Oh, fantastic.
I'll show you it.
Happy Saturday, everyone. So it's been a nice day so far. I've just finished, I was doing a bit of admin, a few billing issues. So for some reason we were charged twice this month for the cat's pet insurance. A bit bizarre, but anyway, sure that'll be an easy fix. And then there's something with our insurance policy as well. I'm like, you know what? Leon and I want to go out on a walk. It's almost 3 p.m. and I want to spend some time with him. So I've abandoned the admin. That can wait till another day. So I'm just getting ready. It's really getting chilly here. It's been very mild, but I think all of that bad weather in England, so where my mum lives, they've had snow and frost and lots of ice. I think it's come down here a little bit. They do have quite a bit of snow in northern France just at the moment. So anyway, today it just feels like it's taken a real turn and it's really chilly out. It's going to be -5 tonight. And then just got a cozy evening in, just the two of us. Oh, and also it's been really nice reading through the comments on my last video. It was a bit of a mixed bag. Most viewers, most of you are very, very nice, very kind, very encouraging, sort of saying, we've been there, don't worry, just keep going. And then there were a few, I don't want to say negative because that's a bit extreme, but certainly like, stop whining, you've got a house, you've got food. I was like, ouch, that hurt, like we were ungrateful. So anyway, I know that those of you who've been following us from the start know that we feel incredibly fortunate to be living out our dream here. This has been something we've wanted for a long time, so we feel very fortunate to be living it. Leon's happy as well. He had another trip to Nos today.
I love Nos. It's like TK Maxx on steroids.
Why is it like TK Maxx? Because
it's TK Maxx because it's random and it's reduced.
Yeah.
It's TK Maxx on steroids because it's crazy. So TK Maxx is actually very organised. They've got rails and things.
It feels like the TK Maxx warehouse, perhaps. Leon said he got back from Nos and he said, I brought you a present. And it's chocolates.
Bailey's filled chocolate little bottles with Bailey's inside. I got some more Tetley tea bags because I cannot live without tea. So I bought 5 boxes. Today in Nos, I got a neck snood thing because sometimes when I'm working it's cold and scarves are too bulky, so this is nice. 3 of these from Regatta, £2. I gave one to Tyrus. You're welcome, buddy. And I finally have a gilet because everyone seems to have gilets. I've never had one.
Yeah, they do. Round here, gilet wearing.
My grandmother
like
used to have one,
a thing.
so I never had one. But now, when you're working, you've got more for your arms and your body stays warm.
Are you going to go out on a walk with your
No, I'm
arms?
going to put a jacket on. We've got a walk. Come on.
Right. I'll take you guys along if we see anything interesting. Wild boar. We saw a wild boar the other day.
Not while we were walking, when we were in the car.
Yeah, and we only saw its butt as it ran into the woods. Anyway, I digress. So this is at the bottom of our garden. It's changed loads though. When I used to come here as a kid, you could walk through there and there's a stream. Where that tree's coming out at the back, that's a stream there and it runs all the way down. And all that used to just be grass. Even going that way, you could walk.
You can see that there used to be paths, because there's a wall there that's been made at some point. There was a path that came through, because all round here there are tracks through the woodlands, like little roads, but there's trees growing through this road. So it obviously hasn't been used for a long time, but we've also seen some little animal tracks.
Yeah.
Where there are probably deer coming through all the time, using the same tracks.
Imagine if we saw some boar.
What would you do, climb a tree?
Well, yeah. Well, I can't really climb trees. I'd certainly scream.
Get in there.
A little den. Very cold night. I think it got to -7. So everything's covered in frost. It looks so beautiful. Get it over there. And I notice on the table too, it's all ice. I see you. You coming out, Baba?
Once the sun comes out, the sun doesn't hit the side of the house,
Proper cold.
it's like hair.
What, you mean it's like grown upwards?
Yeah.
I think that is the thickest
cold.
frost I've seen. It's too cold for me. Oh, and it's windy as well. Oof.